Hey there, Sagittarius, and welcome to your week of November 29th, 2021 general tarot reading. We're going to be looking at your energy coming into this week, some possible challenges, and some possible outcome cards for you. We're going to clarify all those cards and tie everything off with an oracle card at the end, so you're going to want to hang around for all that. These are general readings, though, Sagittarius, so all of this, some of this, or maybe even none of this will resonate with you. If it does resonate, that's beautiful, but if it doesn't resonate, then it's just not part of your message, or it's just not your message at all. And if that's the case, don't try to make something fit that doesn't, all right? But with that out of the way, Sagittarius, let's get into this and see what your energy is looking like coming into this week. We got the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the High Priestess. All right. I like this. This is you planning for the future, being able to overcome any challenge you face, and trusting your intuition the whole way. I feel like at this time you're very intuitive, very much picking up sort of like that sixth sense, sort of like, just kind of trusting that feeling you have where it's, I got the hiccups now, so I'm bad, but kind of trusting that feeling you have in your gut, trusting kind of your sixth sense, right? Really honing in on that and looking towards the future here with that Page of Pentacles, trying to plan towards the future and trying to plant those seeds, research, look towards like what you need to do in order to achieve your goals. And I feel like with the Ace of Swords here as well is overcoming all those challenges you face. Like you're planning and researching, being like, okay, I can do this with a little bit of that, a little bit of this. I can make this work. I can make this happen. So I'm loving this. This is awesome. This is a great way to start, Sagittarius. So let's take a look at some possible challenges for you this week. See what's happening here for you, Sagittarius. We got the Knight of Swords. We got the Five of Swords. And we got the Justice card here. All right. Really going to be a big week for you to kind of keep your impulses under control. I feel like with that Knight of Swords, there's going to be this need, this feeling to rush, and go forward as fast as possible. But you're going to have to kind of, hone that down, rein it in a bit here. With the Five of Swords as well, being very driven, really wanting to win. I'll notice here, this person in the Five of Swords has three swords to themselves, really not playing fair here. And especially with the Justice card here, the Justice card is about being fair, balanced, right? Trying to do the fair thing, trying to find win-win situations for everyone. But where it's in your challenge position, I feel like that impulse, that drive, that need to win is going to throw that out of whack, right? You really got to watch your impulses and try to rein that stuff in this week here, Sagittarius. I know what it's like. You want to achieve your goals now. You want to take the fastest way there possible and everything. You want to shortcut a loophole. I'm right there with you. I wish I was a millionaire right now, but it's not the case. I can't just jump to that. You got to put the time and you got to work hard. But yeah, I just feel like that's going to be something especially this week for you, Sagittarius, is just to keep that stuff in check. And I feel like with the High Priestess, you're gonna know when you're kind of like getting to that point where you're like, oh, better not. Like, you're going to know when not to be like impulse buying and stuff, right? I know just recently I spent some money on some t-shirts for some of my favorite wrestlers. I really shouldn't have done that, but here we are. I've made the mistake and I have to live with it now. So let's take a look at some possible outcome cards for you here, Sagittarius, all right? Got the Five of Cups, Three of Wands, and the Four of Wands here as well. All right. So yeah, Four of Wands and the Three of Wands and the Five of Cups and the Four of Wands here, all kind of telling you to be patient. With the Three of Wands, he's out on this cliff watching his ships come in. Like he's waiting for them to come in, waiting for them to arrive at the dock. And so that he can, get his rewards, get his, his gold, his treasures, whatever it may be, the items he traded for or paid for or what have you, and so that he can profit off of this, right? He's got to be really patient here. With the Five of Cups as well, it's about getting to the point, getting to where you want to be, to your end goal, but just not the way you thought you would here. You can see there's these three cups that have been knocked over. And while that may be like loss, right? He lost these three cups. If he turned around, he'd see that there's two cups here. But even better than that, there's this bridge leading to this town in the distance. And if he just, turn around, he'd see that not all is lost. And in fact, there is still a way forward here. It's just not the way he thought it would. That's kind of what the Five of Swords tells us too. You're really focused. You get too fixated on winning that you don't care. You'll hurt anyone in your way. You'll use underhanded tactics. It doesn't matter as long as you achieve your goals. You'll crush anyone in front of you. And the Five of Pentacles, or the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Cups also tells us that. It's like you're too focused on the loss, on what you don't have here. So don't do that. There's still other ways around things, right? Trust your intuition on that. And with the Four of Wands here as well, it is a card of happiness. It can't be a card of marriage, but particularly about the future, right? You can see through the archway here, these people are already married. Like they've already, they're wed, they're together. It's almost to say, like, if you step through this portal, that's your future, right? And it's just you're on the other side right now, and you're eventually gonna get that chance to step through to your future. It's just you kind of have to wait, right? You have to wait till your ships come in. You have to wait till you see that there's a better path here that you don't have to force, and where you don't trample on others in order to get what you want, right? So let's take a look at some potential clarifiers here for you, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it so much. Hope this is helping me out. Hope this is resonating with you. We're going to tie this all off with an oracle card at the end, so you're going to want to stick around for that. We've already got a pop out for you, and let's see what else we've got here for you, Sagittarius. So we got the Knight of Cups. We got the Six of Pentacles, and we got two here. We got the Five of Wands and the Seven of Swords. All right. I like that we have the Knight of Cups here. I love this Knight of Cups because normally the Knight of Cups is depicted on the side of a riverbank, getting ready to cross that river and achieve what he wants to achieve. This Knight of Cups, however, is in progress. He is in the river. He is wading through, going to his destination here. And I see that for you. I feel like you are going forward here. Like it's pretty clear with the Knight of Swords and the Five of Swords. You really want to go after your goals here. So you're in that good energy of like, let's progress, let's go forward, which is awesome here. With the Five of Wands as well, we got 3 fives here in your reading. Fives can be conflict, can be big time conflicts in your life. With the Five of Wands here, it's kind of conflicts between you and other people. And maybe that's why you're trying to rush, is you feel like it's kind of a situation where you have to be like the first one on the spot. Like you have to be the first one, putting up a stand and being like, here are my wares, right? For instance, but that's not how things work, right? Because, we don't all what's one of like the oldest car makers ever, like car manufacturers, I think like Ford is one of the oldest, or like at least in like over here in the West anyway. But we're not all driving Fords, right? We're not all driving those. Like I'm driving a Toyota, for instance, and I have a friend that drives a Mitsubishi, and I have another friend that drives a Chevrolet. We all have different cars because there's different markets for everybody, right? So don't necessarily think you have to compete with other people in that kind of a sense where you have to be first, of course. With the Seven of Swords here and the Six of Pentacles, you may feel like you have to do everything on your own. It may feel like you have to you're kind of hoarding things at this time, but at the same time you feel like you kind of want to be in a generous mood, right? It's kind of conflicting energy here, right? You want to like with the Seven of Swords, it looks like you're taking everything for yourself, but in the Six of Pentacles you're doling it out as well. So I feel like it's kind of I want to keep everything, it's such a conflicting nature where you kind of I want to achieve all this stuff. I want to do it all on my own, but at the same time, I want to be a part of a group, and I want to achieve things with other people here. Again, we have the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the High Priestess here. I feel like you'll know when to do which, right? When to be, focus on yourself, and when to, go with a group, right? I feel like you just trust your intuition on that one. For you here, Sagittarius. So let's take a look at some challenges, or your challenges clarifier cards here as well. See what's going on. Cards flipping and shucking and jiving today. You fire signs of getting them very talkative. Speaking of talkative, there's a pop out for you. Let's see what else we got here for you. See, they're flipping and sliding all over the place too. Very interesting, very interesting. But let's see what we got. So we got the King of Wands, we got the Moon, and we got the Justice card again. Yeah, again, Yeah, okay, very interesting. The King of Wands is someone who goes after what they want, and it's very rare that they don't get what they want, right? The King of Wands pursues it with boldly, passionately, really, really going after what they want here. And again, with that Five of Swords, it's like really focusing on your end goal, your achievements, your outcomes, right? And not focused enough on like how you're getting there, right? It doesn't matter who you crush, what feet you step on, right? Like it doesn't matter as long as you get what you want. And the King of Wands can be like that if you're in that mode, right? You're in the like, I have to win at any cost. It's like, I have to achieve my goals at any cost. I'm going after, I don't care who gets in my way, what I have to do. So like, again, you need to kind of rein that in this week, I feel like. With the Justice card repeating, Justice card is a sign of Libra. So you might be dealing with a Libra, may have Libra in your chart. But the Justice card repeating is, again, like you got to be balanced, you got to be fair, right? That's going to be a real tough thing for you this week, Sagittarius, is I feel like you got to really watch that. You got to try and be fair with everybody. You can't be just like, I feel like it's going to be sort of a situation where you might feel like you could take advantage of someone or a situation that normally, that you could, maybe you'll get away with it and like maybe you'll get away with it and you'll achieve what you want to achieve, but it will be at the cost of someone else, right? And it'll probably be like a pretty rough situation. You know what I mean? It'll probably hurt them quite a bit. So again, like I imagine you gotta be fair, you gotta do things the hard way sometimes, right? Those shortcuts, they come at a price, of course. And with the moon here as well, the moon is a sign of Pisces, so you might have Pisces in your chart. Might be dealing with a Pisces, but the moon is a card of partial illumination, right? We have the Knight of Swords and the Five of Swords where there's a lot of clouds there. There's a lot of like cloudy, we can't see everything. We kind of don't know all of what's in front of us, and the moon is very much the same. The moon only illuminates so much, and there's darkness and shadows everywhere. So again, just kind of got to watch out for that. Like you may feel like, oh, this is the right path in the moment because you can't see so far ahead, right? You can't see, you may not be able to see the end of the path because you're like, you know what, this looks so good, but you're not seeing the road to get to the end. You know what I mean? It's almost as if like it's sort of as if like you're walking like through the night and it's kind of cloudy and it's like extra dark, but then once the clouds kind of move away from the moon and you can see, it's like, oh geez, I'm going the wrong way here. I feel like that's kind of what's going to be happening a bit. What you got to kind of watch out for this week is like, don't rush into things. Like wait for the clouds to kind of part, wait for the clarity to come so that you can see where exactly you're going, so you're not doing something unfair to someone else, or you're not taking a shortcut, or you're not doing something that you may regret later on down the road here, Sagittarius. So let's take a look and see what we got here for some potential clarifiers for your outcome cards here, Sagittarius. See what's happening. What do we got? We got the Lovers, we got the Three of Swords, and we got the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles will come up for all three of you fire signs. So you may want to go give Leo and Aries readings a checking out as well. But we got the Lovers, sign of Gemini. May have Gemini in your chart, might be dealing with a Gemini. But the Lovers, could be like your partner. Like if you have a partner, could be someone you need to really rely on. Someone who... like someone who's there for you, who you can trust. Maybe you need to lean on them a little bit this week. Maybe they can kind of talk some sense into you. Maybe you need to realize like doing something might be unfair to them, right? Maybe it's kind of a thing where you spend a bunch of money on something you really want that'll help you out, but that also hurts them because then they're like, well, I want to achieve my goals too, and if you had waited, we could have done this where both of us got what we wanted, rather than you forging ahead and being selfish, right? So just be careful for that. It could also just be saying like you need to be patient if you're potentially looking for love. It just takes time, right? With the Knight of Pentacles, again, there's that patient attitude, slow moving, but we're moving forward here. The Knight of Pentacles takes as much time as he needs to get to where he's going, but rest assured he is going to get there, right? This Knight of Swords may be heading out and making action and covering more ground faster, but Knight of Swords doesn't know where he's going. Like, he's just like off and like, I'll find it someday, right? He's just going as fast as he can. It feels like speed's going to get him there. But speed doesn't help you when you don't know where you're going. It's the old saying I've heard say before is like, if you don't know what your perfect person looks like or your perfect life or whatever, how do you know when you find it, right? How do you know what it is when you find that, right? Like, when do you know when to stop looking, right? Because you don't know what your perfect looks like. So just keeping that in mind. Whereas the Knight of Pentacles, like, he does know. It's just, it's going to take him some time, and he's all in for it. And with the Three of Swords, you got to cut out that stuff that no longer serves you. That can range from anything from that impulsive attitude, maybe acting before you think, that kind of stuff, or cutting out that kind of doubt, that kind of focusing on the lack of what you have, instead focus on what you still do have in your life. So let's take a look at your oracle card to tie this all off here, Sagittarius. Hope this has been helping you out. Hope this has been resonating with you. Thank you for making it this far. And there is our oracle card to tie you off. A popper to end it off is the Porcupine Spirit. Time for a beginner mindset. Yeah, we're starting up something new. Like, we got pages. We got that Page of Pentacles. We got the Ace of Swords here. Both startup cards, both planning and overcoming and just beginnings. And the Porcupine Spirit is telling us to have a beginner mindset, is to have that, you know, kind of thought process going on where it's like, how would someone who's never done something, never gone into this, do this? How would someone who has never been in this situation before act, right? You know, I think you would find more often than not people are cautious, right? They're not going to go in there and just, you know, let's just smash this, let's just do it, let's just go for the first thing in front of us. They're kind of going to be like, okay, what are my options here, right? Or at least that's how I look at things. You know, maybe it's a little different for you, but, you know, taking that beginner mindset where it's just like, hey, all right, let's ask questions. Let's find out. Let's gain information here. Let's see what's going on before you jump into stuff. Because, like, when we're jumping into stuff and you're just going for it, it's like, hey, that can be big time backlash for you. Like I was saying before, like, maybe you spend some money that, like, you need, or that you don't need, but you spend some money to help you out move your goals along. But if you had just waited, you and your partner could have spent that money, could have had more money to spend for both of you, right? Maybe when, like, this Six of Pentacles talks about being generous, maybe that's what would have happened. You would have had that money and you wouldn't have been selfish and hoarding it all on yourself like the Seven of Swords. You would have been generous, and maybe you wouldn't have had as big of an outcome, as good of an outcome for yourself, but for both of you, you're both happy, right? The Justice card, right? Being happy, finding those win-win situations for each other. Don't be selfish this week. You know, try to, you know, rein that in. Try not to be impulsive, and let's work together with everybody here, Sagittarius. So hopefully that's helped you out. If you want to help out the channel, Sagittarius, you can hit that like button down below. Lets YouTube know you like the content. You can subscribe to the channel as well, so it's easier to find these videos. That way you can check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos too after this one, and see what all's coming for you in the week ahead. Hopefully it's all helping you out there too. And you can also come back week after week and check these videos out too. So thank you so much for being here, Sagittarius, and I hope to see you in the next video.